Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Hey Y'all Hey Morning Show, y'all. Thank you for everyone who is tuned in. I am Casey from Ormsby Farm.
And I'm Ann from Andale Homestead.
And I'm Monica from Bland's Promised Land Ranch. And
I know we got Alicia in here too. I know she's having some technical difficulties. So we are going to go ahead and get started this morning. So I'm so excited to have Andale back on the show. We had our part 2 of our chaotic talk yesterday. For those that heard the podcast, our opening was, let's just say, entertaining.
Oh my word. It was
Monica
so funny.
forgot her name for a minute.
Yeah, I wasn't even able to introduce myself. It was so funny when I was listening back to it. And I was like, what in the world? What were we talking about? Like, I had to go back and listen just because it was so funny.
I couldn't even remember.
It was so great.
You never know where we might be.
Right. Well, we were talking about pantry prepping. This was part 2 of prepping your pantries. And I think it's so very important to have a prepped pantry. I think Alicia is backstage. I think we actually... Hi, Alicia. Have you joined us?
Yeah. I am here. You guys, I got kicked out twice. I don't know what happened. It's like showing up to the family reunion where somebody says, oh, there's that girl, and you get kicked out. Happened twice. I think it's my
family
internet
reunions
here on the farm. They're like, there's that crazy lady, and they kicked me out. So, and I was frantically typing my hosts in our little private chat area going, hello, I'm backstage. And then it kicked me out again. So I think it's my internet. I apologize to everybody listening and my co-hosts. Wasn't there for my usual intro. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
That is fine. You know what, though? It's funny because I feel like we were kind of like stumbling in here. We didn't know what to do without you. And, you know,
I couldn't even hear you know if you were stumbling because I got kicked out.
I know we were like, oh my gosh, Alicia usually like starts all these conversations.
Yeah, I was thinking, we have to be creative.
Right. Creative on the fly.
It was my turn to drive the struggle bus. But anyways, now that I'm here, hey y'all, hey to everybody who's listening. We're so glad that you're here with us this morning. I hope everybody had a relaxing and wonderful Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I'll be calling my son later today because he was actually born on Labor Day, which was the 5th.
Wow.
I had that baby. He's 35.
Wow.
This year, and yeah, you know, that's what happens when you stay up late at night making that macaroni salad for the church picnic.
Well,
your water breaks, and then you end up having the baby on Labor Day.
Alicia, do you know, I was actually reading this yesterday. Do you know how Labor Day got its name?
No, tell us, friend.
Well, I'm going to have to pull it up because, of course, I would totally forget it. But it was because of the labor working. It was, let me type it in real fast.
It was to celebrate the laborers of our country.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I thought you were going to tell me something a little. I know it's not about having babies.
Well, you know, at least you do, though, Alicia, because
it's to honor the working people, basically. Yeah, is the meaning behind Labor Day, or the point behind Labor Day.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's funny that you had mentioned you had a baby on that day, because the real idea is not about labor and delivery, right? Well, Eric was telling me just the other day, he was kind of laughing and he was telling us the story in the kitchen. He said, hey guys, you know, Labor Day is coming up. And I was like, oh yeah, it's Monday. That's really cool. You get a day off. And we were talking a little bit. He said, yeah, the funny thing is that when I was on, I want to say it was like Netflix or one of these streaming apps. He said, I went into the area where it said Labor Day, you know, movies, like Labor Day stuff coming up. He said it was an entire section of people having babies. It was like baby stuff. It was all, I'm not even kidding you. Whatever social media streaming service that was completely had it wrong. They had Labor Day hits, and it was all these baby movies. And he was like, what in the world? I was like, that's not the right Labor Day.
Yeah, no. He doesn't want to watch. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Birthing no babies.
I just died over here with my microphone off. I was like, Eric. It would happen to Eric.
He was like, that's definitely not right.
Yeah.
But when it applies, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you had a real actual Labor Day.
I had a real Labor Day.
Labor on Labor Day.
Labor on Labor Day. And of course, that baby didn't want to cooperate. So he ended up being a C-section because he was trying to come up into the world backwards.
Oh,
Good
my.
night.
He couldn't even do it right. That, and they told me it was a girl.
Oh no, it
I
was
told you it was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
Yep. They told me that baby was a girl. I had went in for an emergency C-section, woke up, they're like, it's a boy. And I'm like, not mine. You guys messed up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That poor kid, he ended up with bows in his hair anyways for the first 3 weeks of his life.
Oh my gracious. Well, I
He was
mean, I would assume
perfectly
you
adjusted.
yeah, well, maybe you didn't scar him for life. That'll be okay.
Just a little.
Well, you know,
I didn't give him the girl name I had picked out, but I didn't have anything nice to bring him home from the hospital because I had packed a pretty little dress
Oh.
and then a really ugly sleeper. He went home in the ugly sleeper. So at least I didn't take him home in the dress.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
hey, he had something besides a diaper. That was pretty good.
That's true. That's true. At least they let me out of there with that. So getting back onto our topic, why we're really here is, we're talking about preparing our pantry for all those babies, regardless of what day they were born on, whether you're preparing your pantry for yourself and your spouse or your grown children, your little ones that you've got at home, or those grandbabies. It's important to have a well-stocked pantry. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. All of us here. And, but before we get too much into this week's podcast, talking about all of our pantry prepping, say it 5 times fast, Peter Piper.
There you go. That's
We're
right.
going to jump to what, Casey?
It's time for
Subscriber comment call out. Pew pew pew. And we definitely are going to jump to freeze dryer one. I have actually started driving the struggle bus this morning and going through our Facebook group to find this first shout out, which is actually a wonderful comment and question that was left. It's about Harvest Right freeze dryers. And I know that none of us here on the panel have a Harvest Right, but we all know kind of the importance and would love to have one. So
Yes,
The
we would.
intrigue, the desire, the wish list of everybody, every homeowner wants to have a freeze dryer.
Well,
That's right.
while he's actually trying to look for it, I can read you a little bit of what it says though. So it actually hit her. It was Dana Blair. She reached out to everybody in the group a couple days ago, just a few days ago, 2 actually, and she said, what's everybody's thoughts on the food freeze dryers? If you have one, do they pay themselves off within a decent time? We talk about that all the time here on our farm, is that every animal here is on the payroll. And I still feel like that's how a lot of things need to be looked at, is it's on the payroll and how long until it pays itself off. There you go. There's Dana Blair. I'm looking at the harvest rates.
woohoo, Casey's winning.
Yay! And it's almost $2,300. And it was going to be a little bit more, obviously, once you pay for shipping and taxes or whatever. It's a big chunk of change. I was wondering if I charge people a set rate per batch to use it to freeze dry their own food. If anyone thought people would be interested, that's kind of a neat idea. I'm going to say it. It's kind of a neat idea.
It really is.
She's thinking about recouping some of that money, but also helping others while they're food prepping too. I have a small garage house that I would set it up in. It's heated with AC, as well. Fully equipped kitchen and bathroom. I mean, I think that's a great idea. And honestly, Dana's got it. It's a way to make some money back on your purchase. I think that's fantastic. And just in my opinion, people are going to buy their own freeze dried food anyway, right? If they're interested in that type of lifestyle. I purchase freeze dried food. Now, not everybody's doing it, but for those that are interested in purchasing freeze dried food, they may be interested in purchasing a chance to use a freeze dryer. 1, to see if they like it, maybe see if it's worth their investment later on. 2, because they know what they're putting in the food. And it may be things that they can't buy online. For instance, I can't buy freeze-dried duck eggs. I would love to have freeze-dried duck eggs because Eric is allergic to chicken eggs. And you can't buy freeze-dried eggs that are in the consistent with what I need. So I would love to be able to use a freeze dryer to freeze-dry duck eggs specific to my own family's nutritional needs. So that I think that's a great idea. And I think she has a really great way to maybe make herself some money back, to pay herself back for the purchase of the machine.
Well,
Right.
it's a hot commodity right now.
It really is.
And it even more so for some that are ordering from larger companies, they really like the idea of ordering from a friend or someone that they know, what's in them, what they've done, those types of things.
Exactly. And just like Monica said, not everything that you want is going to be available from those larger companies. So, I mean, there really are a lot of different ways to look at this. One thing that I would throw the cautionary tale out there is if you're going to set this up for your neighbors and your friends to utilize so that they can have their freeze dried food, that's a big investment, the 2,300 plus. I would make sure that they bring you the stuff and you do the handling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe even just like guide them into getting the trays in, but don't let them touch the knobs. Don't let them determine stuff. You set it up, you monitor it, and then they can come pick it up when it's done because it's going to be there for a few days anyways.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
but with that big of an investment, I would make sure that regardless of where you set it up, that you really keep it hands off because it's if they break it, they're not gonna if they can't afford to fix yours, if they break it, they're not gonna fix it because they can't afford to buy their own anyway. So that's my
Right.
only cautionary tale
Right,
is
right.
they can still have their hands on and do what they need to do and help you load the trays as far as on the countertop, but then you load them into the freeze dryer. You set the stuff up for however many hours it needs and all that other good stuff. Don't leave it up to whoever's going to come over.
Absolutely.
So I know.
Agreed. And well, I think that her question, I do think, I mean, I don't personally have a freeze dryer, but I do think um, selling or charging a certain amount to family, friends, whoever it is for items probably would pay it back very fast because freeze dried food is, I don't want to say expensive, but
It is.
it has it's a little chunk of money to buy
It's an
the food.
investment. It's an
Yes, it is an
investment.
investment in your pantry future. Um, and I know a lot of friends and followers and subscribers that are actually doing that and making a substantial little business out of. There was one girl on Instagram that only does freeze dried candies, like
Mhm.
all different types of candies, and she bags it up really cute for the holidays. So, I mean, that's a way to pay your freeze dryer off, I guess
Well,
is
yeah,
how to
because
put it.
we've had quite a few posts in our homesteading group where people will say, "What are you doing for a side hustle? What are you doing just to keep the money coming in while you're trying to be self-sufficient on your homestead?" This is a great avenue because I know every single farmers market or event at a convention center or the county fairs lately, there's always somebody that has something set up for the freeze-dried goodies.
That's right.
And we went to the fair with our granddaughter this summer, and that's what she wanted. We're like, okay, you've got some money to spend. What do you want? And she went right for the freeze dried candies, and she got a freeze dried caramel apple sucker. I was amazed at how light it was and airy, and she enjoyed the whole thing. And I'm telling you, that sucker didn't cost you very much if you buy them in bulk. And I think she paid $2 or $3 for that sucker. That's a big turnaround on your investment. So there's a
Right.
lot of things that you can freeze dry marshmallows. Somebody was saying earlier, and Skittles and Snickers bars, all kinds of things. You can do healthy things too. But that's a great way to turn that around on your investment. If you've got the time and the availability to hit those little markets, it's a great thing to do.
That's what I hope to find this weekend. I'm going down to Alabama. I live in North Carolina. Heading down to Alabama to the Great Fall Garden Festival in Jemison, Alabama. And
Oh,
it's
I've
going to be,
heard of that one.
yeah, it's going to be somewhat of a market, but it's a big YouTube meetup. And I'm really looking forward to it. But I bet you there's going to be some freeze dried goodies there too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of freeze dried foods, I think one of the companies that we all know pretty well is August and Farm.
Mhm.
Yeah, August and Farm is great. And you know what, guys? And I know I'm going to ask Casey. I think we've got a little banner that he can put up for us. If you are not in the position yet to use your very own freeze dryer to do your foods, or if you don't have a neighbor that can freeze dry some foods for you, we want to really encourage you to look into August and Farms. We are now an affiliate with them, and you can use the code HeyBale 10% to get 10% off of your order with Augustin Farms. They really have some great availability for freeze-dried foods and pantry stores, and it's really worth looking into. I know I've got several of their items in my pantry. I am not afraid to admit it that I love using their products. And some of them, I'm going to be honest with everybody. Is it Hay Bale 10 for 10% or Hay Bale?
It's Hay Bale 10,
Hay
and
Bale
we
10.
just dropped we
Okay.
just dropped the link in both Facebook and on YouTube. And
Okay.
definitely
Wonderful.
click and head over there because they have they have a lot of deals going on right now. I don't know, Alicia, if you saw that on their website. They have their dairy sale right now going on
Oh, I'll have
because
to
of
check
Labor
that
Day.
out. I didn't look lately. But one thing that I've seen some posts where people will say, "Oh gosh, $23." I'm just throwing numbers out here. $23 for a number 10 can of bell peppers. I could do that for cheaper. Not me. If I had a freeze dryer on my counter right now and I had bell peppers, I'd put my bell peppers to some other use and I would buy a can from Augustin Farms, only because it takes an incredible amount of bell peppers to make the contents for that number 10 can.
Mm-hmm.
And so, especially if
Agreed.
you're if you've got them in the garden and that's what you need to do with them, that's one thing. And if you've got the freeze dryer, that's great. But if you're thinking, I need to have some bell peppers for my pantry and I'm going to go to the farmer's market or I'm going to go down to my neighbor farm and I'm going to get a bunch of those bell peppers, it's going to take a lot of bell peppers through that freeze dryer to equal what is in that number 10 can from Augustin Farms. So there are some things that even if I had a beautiful freeze dryer on my counter right now, I would still purchase from Augustin Farms. So, take
Well,
the time.
there's so much more. Even just we talked about on one of our episodes talking about meals in a jar. And Alicia was the one that actually taught me how to do that. But if you think like macaroni and cheese, we think of Kraft mac and cheese. That box, it's the powder and the macaroni. Get yourself some cheese powder and do your own. We all know that there's so many preservatives in the Kraft or whatever box mac and cheese you get. That also people will think, oh, that's kind of expensive for that number 10 can of cheese powder. But I'm telling you, I bought one about a year ago and I'm still using it for mac and cheese. And listen, as you can tell by my body shape, I don't starve on mac and cheese. So it is definitely a good investment. That, and I think there's one from Hoosier Hill called Big Daddy. Is it the Big Daddy cheese? Monica
Big
and Alicia
Daddy.
know.
Yeah, it's the
Big
big Mac.
Daddy.
Well, I will say, Augustin Farms, by the way, is actually just the Hay Bale code. It's not Hay Bale 10. It's Hay Bale, just the word Hay Bale. It will get you 10% off your total order. I just tried it just to verify to make sure that we weren't telling you the wrong. So it is 10% off of your total order when you type in Hay Bale. And right now, Augustin Farms are having a great, they're having a sale anyway. So I don't even know if you would need to use our code, but you can still click that link.
Use it.
Well, I don't know if you can use a double code. So if it's already 25% off and you type in save 25, I don't know if you can use two codes, but I will say they're having a 25% off sale right now. So if you go in there through our link and you go in there and you're looking at all that stuff, some of that stuff rivals the prices you're going to get on Amazon, because I know Augustin Farms sells on Amazon as well.
Yep.
But I will say that I just had a video I put out last week or 2 weeks ago. It was a short and it was me making one of the Augustin Farms mixes. It was the chicken fettuccine Alfredo. It was the fettuccine Alfredo with the chicken actually in it. And I gave you my honest opinion. You see my face right as I take a bite of that stuff after cooking it up for my kids real fast. And it was the first time I had ever rehydrated and tried it. And it was good. It tasted good. The chicken wasn't rehydrated enough for the amount of time that I cooked. And I followed the directions like to a T. But I feel like it's something worth trying because I have all these, bins, these beautiful containers of food, and I've never tried them. And so I'm going to be starting to try that kind of stuff over my channel off and on because I want my kids to get used to cooking and knowing what knowing what it's like. I've invested all this money in it and it's going to last for a long time, but I want them to know how to use it if we need to. And that was the important thing for me.
Right. And you don't want to wait until you're absolutely starving, Marvin, to be able to know what it tastes like, what you prefer, how to do this differently, that type of thing. It's like any kind of preps. We need to use them before we need them so that you know what you're doing.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely. And it comes in handy because what if you're not feeling well? What if this is what I always think for me personally. If I end up in the hospital again and my family needs something quick and easy, it's important for them to know I've got these meals in a jar made with these products from mostly Augustin Farms. They're ready to go. All you have to do is just take it off the shelf, and I write the directions right on the lid. But
Awesome.
even with the directions, it's still important that they know how to do it and how to utilize it. And it really is a great addition to your
Right.
pantry. And I agree, open that can. I just did it recently. I opened the can of the black bean burger mix, and I made dinner with it. And I told my husband, I said, look, if we like it, we'll order more. If we don't, then we'll just use this, wherever we can, and then call it a day.
Right.
Loved it. And then we bought the 4-gallon bucket. That way it's in my pantry, it's ready, and I know that I can use it if I need it.
Awesome.
And there's so many things you can use it for. And that's what's really great about a lot of these products that they have is it's not just a one-dimensional use. You can use these things in so many different applications
Right.
as you're putting your meals together, your meals in a jar together, your meals in your Mylar bag, whatever you want to do. There's just all these great applications that you can do. And even if I don't have it in a meal in a jar, there's times I'm making something, I will just go grab. I was going to say I was going to grab the number 10 can. If I open a number 10 can, I then put what's left in a mason jar, and then I vacuum seal the mason jar so it stays fresh.
Right.
But I'll go grab that, and I'll just throw that into whatever it is I'm making. I'll throw in, a third of a cup or a quarter of a cup of, dehydrated carrots or freeze-dried carrots or whatever. The freeze-dried peas are so lovely. If you've ever dehydrated peas and then look at the difference with the freeze-dried peas, worth every penny. I love them.
And we did that on our video, Alicia. You explained the difference of color and texture and I guess curb appeal, you could call it, of dehydrated peas compared to the freeze-dried peas. And they say freeze drying your food is the best way to preserve all the nutrients in your food, rather than dehydrating or canning or that kind of stuff. It keeps the most amount in your food. So, why not? Go check them out. Again, I showed on the screen, they have a Labor Day sale of 25% off. There's a lot of really good prices going on right now. I was scrolling and looking, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to go shopping after we get off here.
Mama's going shopping after this show.
Just so you know,
doesn't know it yet, but Mama's going shopping.
just so you know, make sure you use the affiliate link that we have up there. And even if you don't use our Hay Bale for the 10% off, if you save 25 right now, you can get 25% off your order, which obviously is the better deal. And I'm always going to recommend using the better deal. You can't stack discounts. I just tried. I was in there kind of trying some things, but 25% off is amazing. And if you're grabbing stuff in there, make sure you click our link here. That way you can just get into the site from our affiliate, and maybe that'll still, help us out while we're helping you find the best deals.
Yeah.
Always looking out for our listeners. Look at that. Thank you, Monica.
Look, it's called being cheap or frugal, whatever you want to be. We can say frugal. Frugal is a nice way to say cheap, I guess.
Also, it's also having character and ethics, because you've led them in the right direction, and you want them to get the best deal that they can get for their homestead. That says a lot, because not everybody would do that.
Right.
I mean, everybody here, present company, would, but not everybody out there in the world of social media would.
Of course. As we're talking about freeze drying your foods and things like that, we're talking about prepping your pantry. But right now, we still need to start thinking about what's going on for fall and fall gardening. So I think we have another comment.
It's time for
subscriber comment call out. Pew pew pew. My word.
That cracks me up.
I chose this one for us to kind of focus on today from Megan Brunner, because, like many in our group, she's new to gardening, and it can be confusing knowing when to put certain things in the ground. And so here we are, we're coming up on fall, and she wants to know, is there anything she can plant now for her fall garden? And it's a little difficult because Megan didn't tell us what zone she's in. And that would really have a lot to do with it. I mean, if you're up in Minnesota, I wouldn't put anything in the ground right now. If you're down in some of the southern states, you still might be able to get a good fall garden. What do you guys have to put towards this? Because I don't do fall gardens.
We do fall gardening here, but it's really important that we know where she is, because there is a new type of gardening that we can all do inside on our kitchen counter, which are the oh my gosh, my box is right over there. But it's the inside grow lights, hydroponics. Thank you,
I was
Brenda.
going to say hydroponics,
Yes.
Aero garden.
culture.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
No, not Hugel culture. What's it
Aero
called?
garden.
Yeah,
Cracky.
Cracky method.
Yeah. Well, with the hydroponics, and it is at least that's what we do here on some of our things, that you can have. I mean, full salads growing right there in your kitchen, and it's the coolest thing to see your own herbs growing,
Right.
lettuce growing, things like that that you can just snip off right there on your kitchen table.
Agreed. And Dale, what zone are you in for gardening?
8A.
Okay, so I think me and Monica are both 8A too.
Yeah.
And that's as Andale
Which
said,
is bizarre because you're
right.
much hotter than I am. Much, much. I mean, we're
Here
still
I am.
hot, but
Here I am up here by Minnesota, feeling like the redheaded stepchild in 5B.
yes, 5B is hard, man.
But no, I think what Andale said is so correct. If we knew what zone you were gardening in, we could probably answer this question better than we are probably doing now. But one thing that I learned from who I call my twinsy, but also she was a co-host with us on Around the Hay Bale, Casey at Boots and Bounty. One thing that you should always look at, and she taught me this, is you need to look at the harvest days on your seeds, and then do a little bit of garden math. Look at when your first frost is going to be, and you can Google that. You can look
There you
in
go.
any of the sites online, you can find that, and then do kind of like a math backwards.
Mhm.
And if that is not the number of times, like I'll use, I'm growing spaghetti squash in my fall garden because we love spaghetti squash here at Ormsby Farms. It is 85 days to harvest. So
Mhm.
I'm going to look at when my first frost date is, which I'm throwing this out. I think it's November 1st. I'd have to check it again. We don't really have frost dates here in Georgia. But
Most dates in February we may have, but no, I'm
right,
just
that's when we usually get them. But if you go backwards from November 1st, that is the day that you should plant in, and that's from seed. But also when you're fall gardening, you have to think the days are going to be shorter, same thing with the lights, than it is over the summer. Most of the days to harvest number on your seed packet is going to be for summer gardening. So you want to add like 10, sometimes 15 more days to that days to harvest for fall crops. So if you're wanting to start like fall squash right now, Miss Megan, I think you out of luck, girl.
yeah.
You know what?
'Cause-
I want to point out that over in our chat, Two Doves, Bees, and Gardens has an excellent point, and this is for all of us. The fall is a great time to put in some garlic. Where's the garlic one? It's down lower than that. There we go.
That's right.
Get your garlic in the ground and overwinter it. It needs to be overwintered in order for it to grow the next year. That's something
Right.
I'm going to be doing this year. I got some garlic heads from my neighbor, and oh, the big, beautiful cloves. I've never seen such big cloves of garlic on a head of garlic.
Isn't
and
it the
what
same
she
for
grows.
onions too, right? Onions,
Right.
Get them in the ground. That's
That's something you can do as we kind of wrap up this planting season is get those in the ground, and that way when they overwinter and then they come up next spring, you're ready to go. And so that's something I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, and I'll say my broccoli, I saw the broccoli comments in there too. Our broccoli was a good old solid wah, 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 because it was just too hot. I mean, it's not as hot as in Texas. So, Monica, I feel for you. But we're still getting like late 90 temperatures, and broccoli really doesn't like that. Broccoli does like, as Two Dove Bees and Gardens said, they like a touch of frost, a little bit
Right.
of chill for the broccoli.
You could plant garlic now, though, right?
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah,
So.
I think that for us here, I think we're planting garlic between now and October. I think you can
Mhm.
plant. There's some really great websites to go on if you are in this type of zone. Again, I follow Dallas Gardening School. She's great because she's right here in Zone 8A. And she gives you a guide step by step. I actually have a calendar. It's just like a wall calendar that I keep and I refer to. And it's amazing because she actually set up on the wall calendar for Zone 8A in particular, which is our zone. She puts on there each week what you should be planting, what you can be putting in the ground, and the
Oh,
time.
what a great idea.
Absolutely love it. She's just a genius. And I
Can you
absolutely
drop
love
that
her.
link? Monica?
Yeah, let me find her. She's amazing, and I just love it because I mean it's Dallas Gardening School, but in particular, it's Zone 8A, right? So if as long as you're in my zone, then you know it's okay. You're good. But
Once again, I'm sitting here feeling like the middle child.
sorry, yeah, the Dallas Garden School. Here we go. I'm gonna drop that
We
link.
love you, Lecha.
In both.
Grow inside in hydroponics. I need to
I
send
have
you a
a
kit.
beautiful salad garden that I grow year round inside.
There you go.
And it's a $1. I got it at an auction for $1. It's one of those big stainless steel rolling carts like you see for a salad garden in a restaurant with a sneeze guard and everything.
Oh,
Picked it up
cool.
for $1 and we turned it into our own hydroponic growing garden inside. Love
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
great
awesome.
$1 investment. Hello.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's awesome. She also has some free handouts too, this lady. So you can, if you're not growing yours inside because you're not in a northern area, if you are, you know, growing in a southern area and you are in the zone, you can grab the free planting guides. But there's stuff like that online, no matter where you're at, though. There's
Right.
always these zone guides, and you can go online and find. I think the hard part for this particular, I think Megan, was the fact that she didn't know what zone she was in. I think, I
Right.
think that was the hard part for her too. She's a brand new at this, and she's a newbie a little bit, and so she's learning. So if you don't know what zone you're in, go find yourself a zone map, locate yourself on that zone
Right.
map, and familiarize yourself. But remember, zones aren't the beginning and the end of you.
No.
It's just a piece of
Just
your
a-
gardening
yeah.
story. And you can garden and do all kinds of things, and you don't have to always follow it. That's not the hard, fast truth, right? The zone is just a piece of your gardening puzzle. So
Right.
don't
and
let
you
that
know,
define you.
that's what I really love about, our 67,000 strong group is many of us, we're all beginners in one stage or another. So there's, it's a safe place for you to come ask those questions, get some guidance. And it's just that jumping off point. We want everybody to feel comfortable to say, here's my jumping off point today, and I need help with this. And everybody should rally and come to aid. And that's, again, the first thing that everybody in this group saw was, we want to help you, but we don't know what zone you're in. So little things like that. And that's where maybe she didn't know to look for that. And that's where we can guide her into looking at that. And then you take the bricks and you build the foundation on that. And we're all here to help with that. So I think that's the wonderful thing about our group.
That's right. That's right. Our local nursery, we have a little hometown boy that has a local nursery here, and they have charts that are specific for our area of when to plant certain seeds, and they carry the seeds both in packets and in bulk. So, that's kind of fun.
Always. And you know what? I think this is a great time for Casey to throw to one of our sponsors since we're talking about gardening. Casey?
Woohoo.
Click, click.
Calzyme certified organic products are just what your garden needs.
From fertilizing your orchard.
With gardening season in full bloom, Calzyme certified organic products are just what your garden needs.
From fertilizing your orchards to feeding your soil, Calzyme's calcium-based fertilizer gives your plants the essential minerals they need to thrive.
Applying Calzyme to agricultural soils and waters has been proven to increase plant and crop yields while making vegetables and grains healthier and more nutritious.
In addition, Calzyme can help restore the nutrient balance in animals when they're fed plants grown using Calzyme in both soil and water.
To check out all of Calzyme's organic products, visit calzyme.com and use our promo code HeyBale for 10% off of your purchase.
We just got that code popping out all over the place. We've got all kinds of great things to bring to our
I
listeners.
know, we're big
All
old
kinds of-
poppers over here.
We are. We're just promoting all the good stuff. And if you haven't tried Calzyme yet, you need to try it. It is so wonderful. We love it in our gardens. We're not just promoting it to you because they're a sponsor. We are promoting it to you because we absolutely 100% love it and believe in it. It is amazing stuff for your garden and your animals on the homestead. Great, great stuff. And, since we're talking about gardening, we are going to come back and we're going to talk about some gardening stuff. But now we're going to kind of take a little sidestep because there's a post that we wanted to share from Thomas Roberts. Casey?
It's time for
Do-do-do-do.
Subscriber comment call out. Pew pew pew.
So we wanted to share this this comment here. This is a post, not comment, a post that was in our beginner's homesteading guide from Thomas, and he was a little confused because he'd put so much love and effort into making these pickles, but something has happened with his lid, and he didn't know, was it safe? Could he store it? Does he need to eat it right away? What in the world is going on? And we see this from time to time. And I'm sure there's a possibility that, you know, on the panel here, we've even had this happen to ourselves.
Mhm.
I think what the issue here is from my own experience, Thomas, is your band, your ring is just a little bit too tight when you're processing your pickles. That air, you've got that 1 inch headspace.
Yeah.
That air has to go somewhere. And if you put that ring on too tight, you're forcing the molecules of air to try to escape somewhere, and you're going to get your lids puckering and bubbling like this one did here. And
Mhm.
so when you're doing your canning, this is what I do, and my other co-hosts can hop in and say what they do. When I fill my jar and I wipe the rim, I put the lid on, and then I put my ring on, I don't touch my jar at all. I just put the ring on, and just the little bit of pressure of pushing down and twisting, that's all I do. And just having it on the counter and twisting, that's all the pressure I put on my jar when I put my lid on. And I haven't had any issues like this because that ring is on just tight enough to do my canning, but not so tight that I get any puckers like this. What about you guys?
Well, I just wanted to say, as a male canner, I think we were saying this before the show, sometimes finger tight for a man may be a little bit different than finger tight for a lady. And it's very important when you're thinking finger tight that you're not thinking drilling it into your countertop.
It's
That
not
it-
finger tight like you're putting a lug nut on your car.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. You really just want it sealed enough where it holds that lid into place, but not enough where you get those dents, especially because it says pickles. So we know as canners that the pickles will be a water bath canner. That it definitely was on too tight. Now, if it was something like beans or meat and it did this in the pressure canner, there could be different
Different forces at
suggestions.
play.
Yes,
Right.
but this is definitely because it was on there too tight. And I want to say, not to throw any shade, but you probably should have tried 4-jar lids. And instead of the ball lids, the 4-jar lids are a lot more sturdier. And of course, just because we do, if you go to 4 jars and use hay bale, you get 10% off of your canning jar needs. And 4-jar just has everything, but I have never had 100% seal rate as I have had with 4 jars. And that's even when sometimes I may tighten it a little too tight. I still have 100% seal rate. And I think everybody on the panel uses 4 jars, right?
I've used them for some of my my meals on a jar. I've not canned with them yet. I've used them for some of my other products that I put away in the pantry for my vacuum sealing. So I use them for that. No canning yet, but I will.
Okay. I have used 4-jar lids in canning, and they are different. They are better. I have found. I mean, I went rather skeptically because I'll grab your ball,
Right,
girl.
right,
You
right.
know, and I was thinking, who are these people and what are they about? And it really has made a huge difference. But I did want to address one thing that Mr. Roberts, Thomas Roberts, was asking: safe to store or need to consume right away. With any compromise in your lids, you need to either eat them right away, consume them right away, or what I do is, because I have a steam canner instead of a water bath canner, it's real easy. I reseal it, redo it, throw that lid away, wipe the jar, put it back in, and redo it. So,
Now with pickles, though, I think your redoing with your pickles might get some soggies.
you think
I think that's just my opinion.
that's
Then again,
possible?
But then again, I've been doing sunshine pickles. I haven't even been putting my pickles in the canner lately.
I was about to say, no, I have double batched my pickles before, and I have not got soggy.
Oh, that's good.
But I do steam bath too, like Miss Andale.
Yeah.
I do it in my Instapot. It is so easy and so simple.
Yeah.
And I think they don't get soggy because of that. So if you are water bath canning it and it turns out like this, maybe try Miss Ann's suggestion, change your lid, make sure your ring's out on tight, and then try steam bath canning it after it. Because that way it's not sitting in the hot water.
Well, that's true. You're not boiling it.
You're not boiling it as much, so it may not get soggy.
But if this were a jar that I would pull out of my canner and seen that, I would just remove that lid, put a new lid on, and pop it in the fridge and eat those pickles first.
That's right.
Yes, correct. So,
But do not store that can.
Yeah.
As
No,
Miss
no,
Ann
no,
said,
no.
that has been compromised.
Right.
You don't want to risk it. If in doubt, do something else.
no, we always say don't risk it for the biscuit, okay?
Amen.
Right. That's right.
But no,
Okay, so I have a question really quick though. You guys are talking about the steam bath canning. I've never done that, and I don't know what that means or what that is. So, do any of y'all have videos on that I could go to?
I do.
or-
I have several.
I was gonna say
several.
Miss Andale
Mhm.
does.
Okay,
That's
I'm
why
gonna
I
go-
learned how to do it.
I'm gonna go be searching over it, Andale Homestead, because I
And that's
need
a good
to-
time to drop Miss Andale's links in the chat.
I'm getting ready to go
Oh.
there right now because I
Absolutely.
definitely. Well, I did put our link tree up, by the way, for anybody that's interested in any of those codes, because we do have, all kinds of codes where you can get discounts for any of our affiliates. And just please know that if you are looking at an affiliate that we're with, just know that we have used it ourselves, or at least one of us has, and we
Right.
definitely are agreeable to it. We're not endorsing anything that
Right.
we don't, really love or, have tried and enjoy.
And
Absolutely.
also, I want everybody to know that we do make a small commission. Round the Hay Bale makes a small commission
Mhm.
off of your link. It doesn't cost you any more money. It just shows the company you came from us, and that
Right.
you trust our opinions. But it does help us continue these morning shows and these podcasts. So we do greatly appreciate if you do click on our link and use it that way. Even if you don't use the code for 10% off, like Monica was saying, with Augustin Farm, using the link that is in our link tree does tell the company that you came from us. So that's
And
a
that
big
helps us.
thing.
Yeah, it helps us be able to continue to bring you discounts from these companies. So
Right.
That's a
And
big
and the
deal.
exposure that it gives us in turn lets those companies know, hey, we've got something else we want them to put into their kitchen and try for us and see if they like it, and then maybe they'll promote that as well. Do you know what I'm saying? It
Right.
opens up the
Right.
door for us to bring you more quality products. So the
That's
more
right.
that you click on it, the more the companies see the action and they're like, hey, those fun folks over there around the Hay Bale and Hey Y'all Hey, they have their ear to the grindstone to know what we need here. Is it ear, nose, elbow? I don't know. But they know that we're doing what we can to bring you quality products. They're going to want to share more quality products with you through us.
Right.
You know what
No.
I'm saying? I haven't had my coffee yet.
Well, I was just going to say, for using all of our codes, definitely let us know in comments on either these videos or our other videos if you've tried them and what you think of these products. We definitely know, again, like Monica said, we never push anything that we haven't tried before and love. So we want to hear what you think on that, and definitely go check out the 4 Jars, the Kelzyme, and the Augustin Farm. Those are 3 of our ultimate favorites. So yeah, that's why we appreciate y'all.
Well, it's funny that you talk about that too. I think there's another comment call out if you're ready to pull it. We're talking about different products and tools and different things that we use and that we do endorse. And, sometimes we have tools that we absolutely love. Sometimes we have tools here on the farm and things that we're using on our ranches that we don't really know how to use. So it's important to be able to ask questions, to be able to find those reviews. Actually, Eric's going to put out a review this week. We got sent a product in the mail and he's really excited. He did this review video and he was so excited. He was like, Monica, you need to go watch the review video first and tell me if you think you like it. And he did such a good job doing this review.
What product is this? Do we
It
do
is-
that?
It is for
Drop
you're
a
gonna
hint.
you're gonna get the scoop. It's for garden sleeves.
Oh, nice.
Oh my
Oh,
word,
nice.
they're so nice. They don't pinch your skin because I'm gonna tell you right now, I got big girl arms and they don't pinch. Like they don't bother you. They don't pinch. They don't sag or roll down. They stayed on his arms. It wasn't for me. I used his for a second, but he
Was it
used
like? Does it help with mosquitoes too?
you know what? I don't know because all the mosquitoes in Texas have died from the heat. So I'm not sure right now.
Oh
But
my God.
no, you know what? It did help though, because he always has to wear a second layer. So you'll have to go look at his review because it's really going to be a good one this week. He's so excited about it, but they're really easy to like fold up and throw in your pocket. And he had my sweet son, my 11-year-old video in for him. So it was so cute. But no, I mean, he's really excited because
Well,
we got this product for free and he's like, Monica, I really like them. And I'm like, well, then I need to get a pair for the garden.
well, I'll tell you that now is the time. Well, one, we know as influencers and the YouTubers that the companies reach out to us now after garden season to be pushing these products, because now is the time to get your best deals on stuff for your gardening season next year.
Right.
Yes.
And we are doing, we have a unboxing coming out about a digitalized water irrigation system that you hook
I
up
want
and you
that
can.
so bad.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
y'all look out for that. We were so blessed to be sent this product from, I'm not even going to say the name yet, from the company. And basically you hook it up and basically I can be a fat boy and start watering from my couch inside.
Oh my
Like
word.
I don't even have to move.
Sold.
I just open my phone. Just
That's awesome.
saying.
Mama
But
needs it.
anyways, we do, as we're over here talking about different products, we do have another post about a product. So we have our next
It's time for
Do-do-do-do.
subscriber comment call out. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew.
Monica?
Okay, so I think I'm sorry, I was posting this lady's link. So this is from Liz, and Liz actually was asking about this Donald's Wizard Wire Strainer, and it came without instructions. And I thought, this is so important because she needed a place. Look, she already looked at YouTube. She needed a place to ask, and somebody's like, hey, maybe use this video. And she looked at that video and she's like, yeah, but it's just not as clear. And just someone came on and said, look, I think you just attach it from one piece of the wire, you attach it to another piece of the chain, and then you're set to go. And she was like, okay, that makes a little sense. But sometimes you just need a different person to tell you or a different person to explain it. So it's kind of cool that she was able to come in here. She did great because she posted some pictures of the actual tool that she's using or that she's wanting to use. And I don't know that this is an American tool. I don't know this is something you're buying in here in the United States, but I have a tool that we used recently to repair our fence, but basically you're just going to attach it to, for this one, you're going to attach to a post. You're going to take that little hook that's there at the end of the chain, and you're going to use that to attach to the other piece of that machine. And you're going to kind of just crank that machine. And it really does help.
Or a winch, almost like.
Yes, kind of like a winch. And you're going to kind of crank that machine and go from there. So I think that that's a huge help to be able to see it in action. But I have a video that I'm going to release a little short that it's going to be on how to use the one that we have, because I had never seen it. And my father-in-law pulled it out and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And he was like, well, let me show you. And once I saw him use it a couple times, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. But until I saw him physically use it in front of me, I could not grasp how to do it. He could have told me 50 times, but until I saw him do it, I would have never gotten it. So I think that it speaks to the fact that sometimes we just need someone to show us,
Right.
and we need to clearly see it in front of us, whether it's on a YouTube or a FaceTime or whatever it is. It's important to have those clear instructions and those clear videos. And yeah, I was really like, oh my gosh, I need to post my video because I think he clearly showed how to use this particular tool, not the one she's got, but one very similar. So it's important.
Well, I think we talked about it too, Monica, before the show, is that, that's one of the reasons why, especially the three of us started our the homesteading YouTube channels, is because when you find, or when you can't find that one tutorial that you're looking for, or one that resonates with you, because when I first got my hand tiller for my garden, there were tons of videos on how to use it, but they were talking in like super knowledgeable man terms that I didn't quite understand or grasp. So having a video, I needed a video that was like, I don't want to say dummy proof, but it was like pointing to what you need to do first, that kind of thing. So I know that we had talked about, that's why we started a lot of our YouTube channels, is for that reason, to
Yeah.
learn how to use these things.
Well, yeah, and like Monica was saying, it was great to see that Liz had actually gone to YouTube. She'd done her research, she'd done her homework. She had resourced the avenues that she knew to use, and still had another avenue to go down, which was, you know, posting in our Facebook group, and she was able to get some answers, some guidance, some assistance. And this really showed Monica that, hey, that idea I had to make that video is valid, and I need to get that out there. So that will be out there in the future for other people to use as a resource. And I know, you know, it's a little off topic, but along the same lines, the same thing with us. You know, my husband was going to be repairing the auger in our pellet stove, and I said, let me record that. And he's like, nobody's going to care. I said, let me record it. You would be amazed how many people have come on and said, oh my gosh, I needed this video so much. You just saved me so much money. You saved me the heartache and the stress of not knowing what to do with my pellet stove. And so it's really nice to have a second set of eyes to see how things are done. So Monica, I can't wait to see your video.
Well, thanks. Hopefully it lives up to what I'm hoping it would show. It's,
Well, you know,
it's
even if
really
you just
simple
help,
and basic.
you help one person, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's basic. It's very basic. And I'm going to actually have to voice over because I just heard it again yesterday. I was tweaking it last night after I saw this comment, and I was like, man, I need to really get on this. And I'm going to have to voice over because you hear dogs barking in the background. There's all kinds of noise. So I'm going to voice over exactly what he's doing. But he does clearly kind of show what's going on. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
I love voiceovers or throwing music over on top of something.
Yes.
Saved my bacon this weekend.
Yes. Okay, so I think we have one more subscriber comment call out, correct, Casey?
It's time for
Subscriber comment call out. Pew pew pew.
Oh, this is a great one. I was so glad to see this one that Megan Bird had put up. And not only did I think it was a great one for everyone to pay attention to and gain a little knowledge on about keeping your fowl on your homestead, I was glad to see that Monica had some knowledge on it that she was able to share, talk Megan through a couple of things. So I'm going to pass this over to our co-host here, Monica, because this is something I personally haven't dealt with, but I know she had a lot of ideas to help Megan with this one. Monica?
Yeah, so with can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, I was looking. So it looks like I think. Can you hear me still? I'm just like looking and I'm making sure everything's kind of lined up here. I was trying to find her in there so that I could actually tag her. Yeah, but I couldn't get her tagged right now. But okay, so what? Okay, good. So I think one of the things that they were saying was a lot of people were like, oh no, it's pendulous crop. It's something like this. And it definitely looks like pendulous crop. But so many people are like, you're going to have to call her. You're going to have to do this. I think that it's important when you ask these questions. I think it's great that she was able to come here and there were so many people that interacted with her and that were giving her options and ideas. But I think it's also really great that she was coming back like, okay, I'm going to kind of wait and see. Because that was, my recommendation. And a couple other people said, hey, this is what's happened. But he said, maybe she's broody. Somebody said this and that. I think that in all cases, wait and see. If she's eating and she's drinking and she's thriving, let her be for a minute and just kind of wait it out and see what happens. Some people think it's normal. Some people, look, I've got a few ducks, honestly, that look like this that have been alive for a year. I mean, like they're for real like this. And I'm like, girl, you got some big stuff up in the front. Like they're heavy breasted ducks. Okay. They just run a little faster than the others because they got that momentum in the front. I mean, honestly, I've never said, oh, I need to call them. I watch them. And as long as my ducks are eating and drinking, I kind of err on the side of watch and wait and see. Just kind of wait and see. I mean, and if they start to feel, you start to see them changing their behaviors,
If Dolly P's not suffering, don't call her yet.
Right? Yeah, exactly. If there's not a reason to freak out, don't freak out. Exactly.
I mean, this health, this health, other than the obvious physical deformation that you see there, I mean, the duck looks happy. The duck looks content. It doesn't look like it's not in any type of distress or anything. And like she says, it's eating, it's drinking, and it's just a concern because it looks abnormal. And what do you do? So, and everybody's got some really great information to share with her about what they would do and what it looks like to them. And that's great. But keep in mind, it's your animal. And if you want to take that wait and see approach, that is perfectly fine. Don't jump to culling instantly right away. Make sure that you've weighed out all of your options. Do ultimately what's best for the bird. If they're not in distress, if they're not in pain, do like Monica said, see if you can wait it out and see if it's something that is something that they can get over the hurdle on, if that makes sense. Casey, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Plus, I think. Oh, yeah, Casey, did you have something to add?
I did not.
Oh.
No. Thank you. Thank you for getting my screen time, though.
Well,
okay.
just in case you haven't heard yet, ducks are really great for the garden. And you know what else is really great for the garden? Kelzyme. Kelzyme is. With gardening season in full bloom, Kelzyme certified organic products are just what your garden needs.
From fertilizing your orchards to feeding your soil, Kelzyme's calcium-based fertilizer gives your plants the essential minerals they need to thrive.
Applying Kelzyme to agricultural soils and waters has been proven to increase plant and crop yields while making vegetables and grains healthier and more nutritious.
In addition, Kelzyme can help restore the nutrient balance in animals when they're fed plants grown using Kelzyme in both soil and water.
To check out all of Kelzyme's organic products, visit kelzyme.com and use our promo code HeyBale for 10% off of your purchase.
Having said that, I'm so sorry to Casey for throwing him out there thinking he had something to say. This is what happens when Mama comes to the show without wearing her glasses. I read things all wrong. So my apologies, Casey. You handled that really well.
I would love to comment on this, but one thing that we've said before, if you don't know too much about it, don't say anything. And we've said that before on our when people post about their opinions or what they think and that it's a wrong thing. And I just don't have enough knowledge on ducks to give a comment on this. That's why we pass it along to our handy dandy duck lady, Monica.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what, guys? It looks like we're coming up to the end of our hour. So I just want to thank everybody for showing up today. I apologize for being late, not being here for our intro. I don't know if on our intro, if everybody was covering the bases on hoping that everybody had a safe and sound and wonderful holiday weekend with your friends and family. And after wrapping up that beautiful weekend, I'm glad that you were able to join us here today for Hey Y'all Hey. We want to thank Ann Dale for being with us today. And remember, she's going to be a co-host on some upcoming podcasts coming up. We've added her to the crew. She's graciously agreed to join this ragtag group here and share her knowledge on her homestead with us. So we're so thankful for that. And she'll be in some of our morning guests now. So just thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. Catch the podcasts.
Yeah, I wanted to say that one more time too, that we appreciate everyone who's been listening to these first episodes of season 4, that y'all have done so amazing listening to us that you've made season 4 our top listened to season out of our 4 seasons so far, and that we are going to be recording more podcasts coming out later in the holiday season. So we just wanted to kind of give everyone a thank you for that, because we really do appreciate seeing y'all downloading it at all of the different platforms.
Look at the love. They're sticking with us. They love us, especially now that we're unscripted, right? So thank you so much again for joining us today. Listen for those future podcasts to be dropping, and we'll see you here next Tuesday for our next Hey Y'all Hey radio hour. Until we see you then, or hear from you then, or until you listen, make sure you take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed week. We will see you again soon.
Hey, Monica, did you know it's now even easier to listen to Round the Hay Bale podcast?
What? Really? How easy?
That's right. All you have to do is say, Alexa, play Round the Hay Bale podcast.
Playing Round the Hay Bale podcast on Apple Music.
Ooh, we fancy.
Tune in to Round the Hay Bale every Monday at 9 a.m. Central.